the question of should I go to some online service. One of the well-known is called LegalZoom. They advertise a lot, or such services as that, to form a corporation or other corporate entity when you need to do that to conduct or start a business. My opinion is absolutely, positively not. You should not do that. Now, whoever is listening to this may say, well, of course he's going to say that. He's a lawyer and he wants that same business. Well, that's true. I wouldn't deny that. But I can tell you that I'm a lawyer and I practice real estate, so I don't do a lot of that kind of corporate work. I'm going to a corporate lawyer to help me form my business and not going to LegalZoom. I have every ability to form a corporation on my own, but I'm not going to do it, for the same reasons that particularly those who are not lawyers shouldn't do it. Forming a corporation is by yourself using online services is fraught with danger for two reasons. One is there are numerous variations of corporate or limited liability companies that could be used for purposes of conducting your business. C corporations, S corporations, limited partnerships, limited liability companies. There's quite a number of different variations, and every one of them have different tax consequences, and some of them have different consequences related to potential liability if somebody sues you in your corporate status. And when you go online and punch some, check boxes and say, oh, yeah, I want a corporation, and check here, and they spit it out, you may or may not be getting the corporate entity that is to your benefit tax-wise, and that can be very significant. You may wake up 3 years later and realize you have paid taxes way over the amount you should have had to pay had you selected the proper entity for what you're doing. In addition, what you get online is absolutely bare bones. You get a corporate entity that's registered with the state. There's a lot more to it than that. If it's more than one person, there's two of you, then you have all kind of issues. What happens if one of you dies? What happens if one of you becomes incapacitated? What happens if one of you wants out of the business and you want to sell your interest to your brother-in-law? What happens if you have 50-50 ownership and you can't agree on something and you have a deadlock? I could go on with 15 or 20 things that could arise that are not addressed typically when you use these online services. Why do people like them? Because they're cheap, they don't charge you very much, and they make it very simple. But the hidden danger in it is they oversimplify something that's considerably more complicated if you want to do it right. You need to have tax advice, you need to have selection of entity advice in order to make sure that you're doing it the right way, that in the long run will benefit you the most. It's kind of the age-old trade-off we have with lots of things in life. Sure, it'll cost you more. Let's say it costs you $1,000 and your online charges would be $100. You think, wow, that's 10 times more to go to a lawyer to do it. And sometimes it doesn't even cost $1,000, but let's say it is $1,000. Well, if you make a mistake and choose the wrong entity and figure it out 5 years later in the tax audit or something like that you've made the wrong decision, it may have cost you $50,000. And so that $1,000 investment to have it done right in the first place is well worth it.